Everybody's got a price, it's the $1 million man. Podcast in demand. Understand, everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a pod, it's the $1 million man. Podcast in demand. Understand, everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a price.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus D'Angelo, and we are back for another episode of Everybody's Got a Pod. And of course, I could never do it without the man himself, WWE Hall of Famer, legend, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Ted, as we're recording this right now, or rather, whenever this drops, which will be tomorrow, the 27th, you're going to be in Sioux Falls.
Yes, I am. And actually, I'm leaving for Sioux Falls this afternoon.
Man, if you are in the South Dakota area, the event is called SuperCon. Guys, go out of your way to check it out if you're listening to this right now on Friday. Ted is there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, along with Jake Roberts. Cheryl is going to be there also. A lot of other stars from TV and pop culture. So go over to SuperCon. But anyways, I kind of trampled over the real thing here, Ted. How you doing? What's new with you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. You know what? I can say today I genuinely feel like $1 million.
All right. What did you do today? You have a big breakfast or something?
No, actually, I haven't eaten anything yet, but I have been, I guess, tirelessly, what you call paying bills. And happy that there's money there to pay them. No, I'm teasing. I'm not in any dire straits or anything like that. But anyway, no, well, I'm just in a good mood. Like I said, I'm making that trip to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and it's like I said, that's only it's less than 200 miles from Sioux Falls to Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm from, and it just it's kind of like maybe hey, can I take a day and go play?
Now, whenever you get back to Omaha, where you're from, like what do you do? Is there still a lot of family there, or what are you going?
Well, there's family on my dad's side of the family, and he grew up in a very, very Italian neighborhood. It's kind of like what was funny was like. This is like the late 60s, okay? And when all the turmoil, when all the rioting was going on and all the racial stuff, these people going into neighborhoods and just tearing them up, for no reason other than to get their point across. Well, the neighborhood or the group of blocks that I lived in were basically, kind of like not overtly called Little Italy, but you might as well have called it Little Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny how none of that trouble ever came to Little Italy while it was going on all over Omaha.
Yeah, those old school Italians, you don't want to mess with their stuff.
No, it's like what was the guy? I guess the Chicago big mob was Capone.
Yes, Al Capone. Yeah, that's not a man whose property you would have wanted to mess around with.
Oh, no.
But man, it's cool to hear that you're going to be out there in an area that really doesn't get to see guys like you or Jake very often there in South Dakota.
Well, the other thing about South Dakota, if I'm not mistaken, is South Dakota is where Custer's Last Stand, the Little Bighorn, all of that is in South Dakota, and it's just killing me because that has always intrigued me. I've always wanted to go there and just see it, and I'm going to be so close yet far away.
It's all work and no play when you go out there, right?
Yeah.
It was the same deal back in the day with WCW when you guys would go to Sturgis, South Dakota for the Road Wild pay-per-views. I think a lot of fans hear that and they're like, oh, well, those guys probably had a real blast out there. It's like, yeah, you show up and you go to work and maybe you go hit the bars afterwards if you're so inclined, and then you're on the road again, pal.
That's it.
So really no true opportunity to do the sightseeing. Who knows though? You'll I'm sure you'll have your chance, and maybe you'll even get to go out there with Mel at some point, right?
Yeah, that would be really good.
Well,
Really.
what else is really good, Ted, is that we are gonna do something today that we have not done yet here on the show. It's something I've been kicking the tires on for a while. I did it with Jake on the Snake Pit, where we took old terrible wrestling clips where things just went horribly wrong in wrestling, and we watched them back, and let Jake comment on them, and it was a blast. We had a really good time.
Okay.
We'll see if it's a fit here with you watching WrestleCrap. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We won't do it again, but I figured it was worth a shot.
Like fun.
Yeah. Have you heard the term WrestleCrap before ever?
Not really.
It's become kind of like an internet thing to sum up essentially like when things just did not go right out there, whether from creative or an accident or
So I
whatever.
haven't heard of wrestle crap, but I've heard of crappy wrestlers.
Well, there's plenty of both out there, as a matter of fact. Before we do get into these clips, though, I do want to ask you, Ted, is there any creative that you were given or accidents from your career that you would consider like a cringe-worthy moment or embarrassing or anything like that?
Golly, man. Uh, it's just hard to say. It's like, sure. As I'm just sitting here, I can't think of anything.
I mean, as far as embarrassing, I know that you had said before that you'd been sick in the ring, like you had to crawl under the ring and throw up, right?
Yeah. Of course, that really wasn't embarrassing because nobody could see me under the ring.
Yeah, so I worked out okay.
It was covered, but yeah, it's kind of like the old saying, the show must go on, it's kind of like the thing I was really praying for that. I remember that night is, oh, please, Lord, I don't want to crap my pants.
Yeah, crap in your pants would probably be no good out there.
No.
Have you ever been in the ring with somebody who did shit themselves? Apparently, it happens fairly often in wrestling.
I've been lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, I have not been in the ring with anybody who just let it ride. Go.
Mick Foley used to say, if you have never shit your pants in the ring, you aren't trying hard enough. So I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, I don't know. They say that some guys might have like a stomach bug or ate the wrong thing. They'll take like a suplex or something, and oops, all that pressure getting forced out of them.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for me, that never happened.
Thank goodness.
I let it roll out of my mouth, but nothing came rolling out of my butt.
Well, there is one moment that kind of stuck out for me when I was kind of going through everything. Like, what is a good WrestleCrap moment for Ted? And like, I think maybe buying Hercules could have qualified for something like that. You met Santa Claus in late 1995, the dude that was dressed up as a bogus Santa Claus, if you remember that. And here's this other moment, and we're gonna play the clip from it, Ted, where you had just come to the company in 1987. It's at the Slammy Awards. And for our viewing audience, please note that the copyrighted music is going to be playing during this. So we're actually just going to zoom through the clip on YouTube. So here we go. We're going to watch it in live time, though, Ted.
Everybody's got a price. $1 million man. Everybody's got a pod. It's the $1 million man.
Boy, Virgil there with his arms crossed pretty much sums that up.
Hey, Virgil is standing there doing what he does best.
Yeah, that's right. He's supposed to look intimidating, but like here you are, Ted. You had just gotten used to being this nasty heel in other territories, and that Vince McMahon is bringing you in as this top heel, but he's got you dancing.
Yeah, I really never did really understand. I remember doing that, but I just don't remember what the heck it was all for.
It was just the Slammy Awards, and Vince wanted to kind of bring this new flavor to the Slammys, where it's like, hey, let's make it a big show, almost like the Academy Awards, where we've got all these people doing all this stuff. It was also the show where Vince did his infamous Stand Back song and dance, if you remember that, with all the dancing girls, and Vince is out there, and it's an absolute mess. So, I mean, again, Ted, you're somebody who's raised in the wrestling business, brought up the old school way, school of hard knocks, so to speak. and here you are. You're in a sparkly suit, and you're dancing. What did you think of your new? You had just arrived in the company. What did you think of your new situation here?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the only thing I had to keep in mind was how business was doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, like the minute that I saw that Vince McMahon had, set a world attendance record, indoor world attendance record, 93,000 people at the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was like, I said it immediately. I said, if I'm going to stay, alive in wrestling, then I'm going to have to go work for Vince McMahon.
You must have seen yes, 93,000 people. It's great exposure. You have the opportunity to work in front of this big audience. But more than anything, what that represents is like back in the day, the wrestlers were paid off the gate. So 93,000 people coming in there, that is a shitload of money coming into that event. So
Yeah.
you know that the guys that were on or near the top of the card, just a ton of money after this one.
Well, you would hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody made a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling promoters are notorious for, being cheap.
Well, I'm sure that
You know what? To Vince's credit, I mean, oh my gosh, I mean, how can I talk about anybody being cheap when he gives me this character? I'm flying around in Learjets and limousines and the whole 9 yards, and the company's picking up the tab. Wow.
that would certainly ease the blow of having to go out there and dance on national television a little bit. I think I would happily go and dance right now for those opportunities. So look, a lot of this stuff is subjective. A lot of fans view a lot of these moments with like kind of rose-colored glasses. It's like a lot of nostalgia, but a lot of it is pretty crazy. Up next, we've got something from 1995, so just 1 year before you would arrive in WCW. And this is a pretty infamous moment at Halloween Havoc. A match between Hogan and the Giant was apparently not enough of a draw for WCW, so they raised the stakes with what they called a sumo monster truck match on top of Cobo Hall in Detroit. Ted, have you ever heard about this?
I believe so.
All right, let's have a look at the clip.
And listen to this crowd inside the Joe Louis Arena as Hulk Hogan buries the pedal to the metal. Oh, I think he's got him, though. He's got him. He's got him. He's going to take him out. He won it. Very good. Both sets of wheels up. And inside. He's not stopping, though, is he? He's nuts. He crawled out and he's going after Hogan.
Oh, we're going to have it right up on the roof.
Wait a minute. No, there is no security. We don't have enough security up there for this.
He's going to throw him off the roof, Bischoff.
No.
He's going to throw him.
No. At the edge of the roof. Oh, whoa.
You better get the firemen out there with the nets.
The Giant has got Hulk Hogan on the edge of the roof of Cobo Hall.
Oh, my. Oh,
Get the hell off of that. Somebody get him off of there. Get him off of there. No!
Oh, my God.
No!
Oh, no. Help!
No!
All right, so the Giant is dead. Just fell off the roof of Cobo Hall.
You know what? That's the first time I saw that.
Yes. I was gonna guess that you maybe had heard of it but hadn't seen the clip. What did you think?
Oh gosh, I mean, you couldn't tell it was a work, could you? Way there.
Hogan running away screaming.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it very carefully.
I mean, if we're gonna protect kayfabe here, it's just like, well, the Giant's character is now dead, right? He fell 5 stories, presumably died, and you would think that a death would mark the end of the rivalry, but that is not the case. Later that night, here's what happened at the same event, mind you, Ted.
Well,
Here he
no
comes.
one could survive
He's
a
fine.
5-story fall off a rooftop. Something has happened here.
First time in the ring, and Brain, he is ready to go.
Flash
Something
ahead
had to
here.
happen. A fan threw something. He got hit in the head. That's what happened. I bet you anything. They've been throwing cups all night here.
All right, he's telling Jimmy Hart to watch the referee. He pushed the referee down. Jimmy Hart is attacked Hulk Hogan, for God's sake.
Jimmy, run for your life.
And the Giants back up. And the Yeti.
Look at the size of that man. Luger, look at Luger.
Luger stomping Savage.
Jimmy Hart was in Luger's corner all along. And Hogan is still in the clutches of the Giant. Those big, massive arms are still wrapped around Hulk Hogan.
What in the hell is going on? And who is on whose side?
You are seeing the end of Hulk Hogan.
All right, Ted.
Who's the money?
That has become like famous in internet wrestling lore. Have you ever heard of the Yeti angle?
No.
Okay, so that giant mummy comes out. They call him the Yeti, not the Yeti, the Yeti. And that's Ron Reese, who he would later be in Raven's flock. Big, huge guy. He was like 7'1", 7'2". Wow, dude. I mean, this kind of creative in wrestling. What do you think of this sort of thing?
Like, it's like, God, it's like, what are you thinking? It's just, I mean, it's silly.
Okay, guys, let's hit the pause button on the show real quick to talk about our fantastic sponsor. Of course, I'm talking about the guys that we all know and love. We're talking about Blue Chew. You know, ever since we started talking about Blue Chew here on Everybody's Got a Pod, the question keeps coming up from people, does Blue Chew work? Well, look, if you're asking that question, we want you to know that Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is by giving you a month for free. Guys, Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. All you've got to do is sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. And if you want to know the best part, here it is. It's all done online. So what that means is you can forget about all the visits to the doctor's office. You can forget about having to have those awkward conversations. Or how about the worst part, waiting in line at the pharmacy? Skip all of it with a little help from Blue Chew. You can take them anytime, day or night, so that you can plan ahead or be ready when an opportunity arises. And what do you stand to lose? You can try it for free for a month, and we think that you're going to love it and your partner's going to love it. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life without even knowing it just because you haven't given this a shot. It's a free service. Why not just try it? And if you don't like it, okay, forget it. You don't have to try it ever again. You know, we always say that first impressions are important, but how about lasting impressions? Build up your confidence with Blue Chew, and they're giving you confidence where it counts the very most. Guys, Blue Chew wants men rock hard. That's what they tell me. That's their mission. They will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house, till every tent is pitched, till every rod is raised. Discover your options right now at BlueChew.com. And guys, we've got a special deal for you, our listeners. Again, you can try Blue Chew free. All you've got to do is use our promo code EGAP at checkout and then just pay $5 shipping. That's it. Just go to BlueChew.com, use our promo code EGAP to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring Everybody's Got a Pod. Apparently, that performer, Ron Reese, the Yeti, Arn Anderson was working backstage at the time as a producer. He was helping in the creative room. And afterwards, he comes up to Arn and he goes, "Hey, Arn, how did you think it went?" And Arn, in his famous dry Arn way that I'm sure you're familiar with, responded, "I would kill myself." Something to that effect.
Yeah. I could hear Arn saying that. I just killed myself.
Man, unbelievable that actually made TV and Hulk Hogan had to be part of it, but here we are.
Wow.
Next up is one that I really have no idea if you're familiar with or not. Again, this is another one that's become really, really famous on the
I'm
internet.
at 0 right now.
Honestly, though, you should count yourself lucky having missed some of this stuff. But I know that during the time this next one happened in 1993, so you're still an active wrestler. I would guess you've never seen this. But after Fred Ottman, who's better known to you as Tugboat or Typhoon, left the WWF. Did you know that he became a character known as the Shockmaster? Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay, well, we're in for a treat. Here's the WCW debut of the Shockmaster. This is a character that they had been hyping on TV. Everybody's really excited for this big new baby face to come in, and this is what happens.
Sting! Tell the people who the secret partner is gonna be! All I have to say is, our partner is going to shock the world because he is none other than the Shockmaster! All right! The Shockmaster! I told you. Oh, God.
The helmet comes off.
I don't give a damn who you are. You're gonna have us.
Look at Sid still trying to put it over.
Come on.
So you're the man that rules the world. They call me the Shockmaster. You've ruled the world long enough, Sid Vicious. Get ready. Come on, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? Come and get me. Come after me, Sid. I'm ready. Along with Davey Boy, Sting, and Dusty Rhodes, we'll see you at the Fall Brawl at the War Games.
Okay, so Ted, your first introduction to the Shockmaster. What do you think?
Oh, that sucked. Whose idea was that?
I want to say it was Dusty Rhodes, actually. So the American Dream, one of the most brilliant minds ever in wrestling.
Yeah, I just can't believe that Dusty would do something like that. I don't think so. I can't believe that. Well, now if Dusty was playing a big rib on somebody, that would be it.
Thing is, did you know that
Shockmaster, you can't even see me. They got that silly hat on or whatever that was.
I could almost buy that it was a rib, but did you know that Fred was Dusty's brother-in-law?
Do what?
Dusty was married to Fred Ottman's sister. So like that's the last guy that he's gonna rib. So I think everybody just thought it was a good idea, but you heard Flair when it happened. He was like, "Oh God," just audibly on the mic when this guy accidentally falls through the wall. Just an absolute mess right from the jump. And then the voice, Ted, if you had to guess, it's somebody that you know. Who do you think was voicing the Shockmaster there?
I really couldn't tell you.
That was Ole Anderson.
No.
It was.
Ole agreed to do that?
Yes. It seems like everybody thought this was just a great idea.
I'm the Shockmaster.
So there you go. Next time you see Fred Ottman, you'll have a little something to chat with him about. Well, we're not done with WCW yet, but let's jump over to the WWF. You were with the company when Papa Shango and the Ultimate Warrior began their rivalry, and things took a pretty wild turn for them in 1991. Let me pull up the video here, and we'll have a look.
This is the curse of Papa Shango. This is the taking of the wristband. This is the curse that he applied to the Ultimate Warrior. He's down on the mat, holding his stomach. Look at Shango's face. He put a curse on the Ultimate Warrior. Get the hell out of here. Whatever it is, I've never seen the Ultimate Warrior in that kind of pain. He's screaming in pain. Get Shango. Get him out of there. No, leave him there. Get away from him. Look at Shango's face. He's in another world, McMahon.
know too much about voodoo, but I'm going to tell you right now, McMahon, the curse has been placed on the Ultimate Warrior.
We're back in the Ultimate Warrior's dressing room, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, he is suffering severe abdominal pain. The attending physician there to help him out, along with a number of his friends. The Ultimate Warrior, unfortunately.
He did what you did under the ring, except it was all on camera.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Whoa. Ted, do you remember that creative at all?
No, and I probably intentionally wanted to block it out of my mind forever.
I don't think I blame you. Holy shit. Where you at on putting a curse on somebody as a wrestling angle?
Oh, gosh. That's way out there, That's way out there.
The funny thing is, though, that it's like that. To Vince's credit, that's something that fans are still talking about years later, albeit to laugh at it. But still, it's like people still reference it. Here we are, all these years later, watching it back on a podcast. I don't know. Maybe we're looking at it the wrong way. Maybe
Well,
not, though.
No.
Big Charles himself, Papa Shango. You got along with Charles?
Oh, yeah. I've always got along with Charles. He's a great guy.
He's really good friends with Jim Duggan. So I was like, I bet he's buddies with Ted too, just knowing that you and Jim are tight. What did you think of the character, though, this voodoo guy, Papa Shango?
Well, I mean, yeah, he did it well. I thought, and it's kind of like, now by this time in my career, you got to understand, I'm a kid who grew up in a generation where, my father was a wrestler, and you protect the business.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's almost like if you were a magician. Okay. Well, anybody with half a brain knows you really can't make a rabbit disappear.
Right.
But they did it somehow. So how'd they do it? And the same thing with wrestling was, most people who watch wrestling long enough, especially if you've ever been in a real fight, figure it out and say, wait a minute here. But it's the story that draws you in. And my thing was, the better you can protect the story, it's kind of like, if I had done an angle with, and I think I did an angle with the road, the McIndoe.
Yes.
And, but while we were doing that, I would not be seen in public anywhere with him or even close to him. And that's just protect the business, because it's kind of like if you or I watching a movie, okay, and there's this this really bad fight that happens, and then you walk out on the street, and the two guys that put on that great fight in the movie are sitting by the pool having a drink together.
It takes you right out of it.
It just takes you out of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting seeing this stuff these years later, especially with like kind of the context of the time, where it's like, I know that Vince was trying to kind of push this cartoonish sort of thing, as we've talked about here. He wanted to market his product, and so he felt that he needed these big over the top characters. The Papa Shango character, I like him. I like the idea of having this voodoo guy who's putting curses on people. Maybe this little piece of creative, though, where he's forcing the Ultimate Warrior to vomit, probably could have been done better. Ted, overall, how would you say that you feel about wrestling cross-promoting with movies and having movie stars come in?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it's kind of like, who it is and what they're being brought in for.
So if, like, for example, if one of if a movie star is getting like physical with one of the boys, it better be a badass of a movie star, right? Like a Clint Eastwood coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought that too. You know, there's a pretty infamous moment where William Shatner came in and kind of beat up the Road Dogg and Jeff Jarrett a little bit, and it's like it's William Shatner. He's not like a known tough guy, but like you were there when Chuck Norris came to the
Yeah.
WWF and kind of beats him. Actually, Jeff Jarrett, he beat up Jeff Jarrett, and it's like, well, that kind of works because Chuck Norris is a badass. In this next instance, we didn't have an actor come in, but instead we got a really well-known character from the time. This is another clip from WCW and a little creative involving Sting.
Horsemen are already up. They just threw Sting in the cage. They just threw Sting in the cage that Cornette was in. Sting has been caged by the Horsemen, but here comes Robocop, Bob.
Sid Vicious, Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson, they all attacked him, threw him into the cage. But look at Robocop now as he's approaching.
He is not.
They're backing away from him.
He's not intimidated, Bob. Robocop going right to the cage. This
You're
steel.
gonna be a bucket of balls till we get W.
Oh gosh almighty! He's pulling that door right off the hinges. Woohoo! What strength by Robocop! And man, you want a piece of him, Horseman.
Look at Ole and Arn and Big Sid back up. And the expression on their faces say, what the heck have we got here?
All right, Ted, RoboCop in wrestling. What'd you think?
Wow. How did I miss all that?
Well, that was WCW 1989, so you were probably running pretty hot on your own. But
That's, I don't know. That to me, that's going a little bit too far.
you know, I've seen a lot of expressions on your face over the time I've known you, and that right there was one of the most disgusted looks I've ever seen on your face.
Oh my gosh, I don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah,
I guess I don't need to know.
hard to say. I mean, I'm sure that WCW got a big payday for the cross promotion, but it's like you've got the Dangerous Horsemen, right? One of the most dangerous groups ever, and they're being backed off after, by the way, they have Sting locked in a cage.
By a robot.
Yeah, it's a robot is running them off. They've got Sting in a cage like it's a 60s Batman team.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's kind of like, put the damn robot back in the movie he came out of, okay? Because that was a movie. This is wrestling.
Right.
It's not a movie. It doesn't work. That would be like bringing, the guy that played Superman in a movie, bring him in, and it's like what he goes to do? Stand in the middle of the ring and let bullets bounce off his chest or something.
That's it too. If we're pretending that this thing is a shoot, right? That wrestling is a shoot, then like having a movie character come, it's not like RoboCop is out patrolling the streets in real life. So the whole thing is just wow, it's crazy. And what's even crazier is again, you've got an old school guy like Ole Anderson there backing off and pretending that he's afraid of RoboCop. It's like, boy, I wonder how they convinced Ole to do that.
I don't know.
Felt like an acid trip to me, Ted. Well, all right. I'm done torturing you for today. We've got one more clip. And this one features a second generation star like yourself. As a matter of fact, this happened during a period when your son Teddy was in the WWF or WWE at the time. And he's actually going to be mentioned here at the end of this clip. Before we get into it, the clip features Natalia Neidhart, the daughter of Jim Neidhart. Have you had the opportunity to spend much time around Natty?
I like Natty. Yeah. Yeah, she's a good girl.
An excellent worker, too. A great lineage in wrestling. She's done a lot for women's wrestling over the years. And she's done her father's legacy really proud. But back here in 2012, she was given some really questionable creative, presumably by Vince McMahon. We know that Vince McMahon likes potty humor, and this is part of it. So there's a little teaser before we watch it.
Bad you want to compete, so how about tonight? Natalia goes one-on-one with Oksana.
Great! I think it's a great idea. I cannot wait to make you cry.
I I need to go check on Ted DiBiase.
Wait, Daddy.
Oh, it's in my mouth.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Ted, what do you think about Natalya farting as part of her gimmick?
Well, I mean, I don't think that was really her farting, but obviously it was a fart sound.
It was. It was. This was a thing that they were doing with her at the time, where they would have her in backstage segments, and every one of the segments would end when she would accidentally fart, and everybody would be disgusted by it and walk away. This happened like numerous times, and then was just kind of quietly dropped.
I'm trying to figure out how I missed all of this shit.
Man, I'm probably glad you did, but you know.
Yeah.
The fact that they mentioned your son, and it makes me wonder, and this will be my final question for the week. If Teddy calls you one day while he's still with the WWE and he says, Dad, they want me to do a farting gimmick, what kind of advice might you have given to your son?
I'd say you go back and tell them that's a bunch of crap.
You have to draw the line somewhere as a performer, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's vulgar. It's just that, I don't know. Don't know, buddy.
Man, that is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to like the vulgar, gross stuff that I could show you on WrestleCrap. But this week, I'm gonna stop torturing you for now. Maybe we'll pick up we'll have you watch WrestleCrap again.
Please, I want to be able to get off of this thing and go eat my lunch.
Yeah, but I've lost my appetite.
Yeah.
The whole thing between Warrior vomiting and Natalya farting. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll revisit it sometime down the road. I had fun. What did you think of your first experience watching back WrestleCrap, Ted?
Well, it was kind of shitty.
I can't think of a better way for us to wrap it up. We will be back to our regularly scheduled podcasting next week, folks. Don't worry.
And just always remember that everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Even that shitty whatever I saw.
We'll see you guys next time right here on Everybody's Got a Pod.
$1 million dreams, tell them all good night. Everybody's got a pod.